Hey everybody, Rhadamant here, continuing my Sea Ice Community Challenge. So when we left off, we had, last episode, a few mechanoid raids, a thrombo attack, a random wanderer join us, who I outfitted in really warm clothing and kind of sent her off on her way. And, oops, unfortunately I just clicked on her, which means I have to load the world, because I sent her on a convoy to go to a neighbor. I don't think she's going to make it, but she might. I don't want to discount her. If she gets even here, she's been the only one off sea ice so far. I've actually never left sea ice before B, and I've been thinking about that because to blast off in a ship off of this sea ice, I need uranium and gold. So I've been sort of devising a way for me to be able to trade with some neighbors using transport pods. But getting there is the easy part. Getting home is the hard part. I could, of course, create transport pods to blast there, but the home trip is a little trickier because then I need transport pods or a hell of a lot of food to get home. And of course, while I'm away, my base is vulnerable because and speaking of vulnerability, we have a poison ship. Because while I'm not in base, the base is vulnerable to attack. You know, the less people I have here, the easier it would be for me to lose everything in an attack. So I'm going to wait until Taffy is up to attack that ship. My colonists here are pretty happy, so they wouldn't mind going to war now, but I'll wait to not stress them any further. The less stress I can put on them, the better. I'm also creating somewhat of a slag zone here to slow down would-be intruders. Of course, if it was multi-layered, it would be better, but whatever. It is the way it is. We're running a little low on power right now, because we had a fire feedback. Oh, B's wandering again. So I think I'm actually going to flick off, rather than use reserve power, I'm going to flick off my grow light for the batteries to get back. So now I have everyone on their feet and ready to fight in fighting form. And I think I'll have Taffy replace Doc as a shooter. I want Doc just to be researching, and Taffy she's not quite as good with a gun, but she's not bad. Because Doc is about to round the bases to get the last of the ship research done, and I still probably need a component bench, because I'll need a bunch of components to complete the ship. Our ship, not this poison ship. I guess I should specify. I'm not bleeding, right? No, this is the thrombo blood. I was like, why is there blood here? Alright, so NG and Taffy. Oops, don't get close. Taking aim at this crashed ship. It is full of horrible things that are already annihilating Taffy here. So I'm going to send Taffy home. Okay, Taffy really needs to go home now. She's been cut open pretty badly. These scythers are really kind of aggressive, more than I've usually seen. But I think it's because I attacked the poison ship twice. That'd be my guess. And now they're somewhat permanently aggroed. Nope, they're not permanently aggroed. They're just angry. So Taffy, I think, doesn't have a whole lot of time there, and is bleeding pretty bad, so I'm going to send Doc out to the rescue. I think that's the right call, but I have to do this in concert with moving everyone around all at once. So I'm going to put Taffy here and have Doc come out as fast as she can. I'm not going to use medicine. Now, everyone's been saying, oh yeah, you'll get infected, blah blah blah, but it's like, so what? You know, if I get infected, So what? I'll fix it. I'll heal. I'll cure. Oh my god, these scythers are really aggressive. It's going to be hard to get shots off on them without them immediately bulleting back towards me like bees from a swarm. This is some AI that I very seldom see from scythers. This hyper aggression. Doesn't seem to matter. The first shot she unleashes cuts the leg off of one of the scythers, and they are incapacitated now. Moral of the story, don't F with NG. NG is a beast with a gun. As clever as she may be, she is mightily fierce. Serpentine, serpentine. Now these scythers don't have a shot on me, but I have a shot on them, at least for now. I think what I might do, just because they're being so... they're like meth addicts, is, alright, so you're patched up. You're good to go home. Look at them. Oh! Oh! Mess with NG. You die badly. Oh, that's glorious. Now this might backfire on me, because I am getting fired on. But only a few more cells and I'll be at max range. What I need to do is I need to retreat exactly to max range and then unleash a counter shot. Who is hypothermia? Do I have hypothermia? Yes, I do. Alright, it's time to go home. It's almost negative 200. Which means I might have to come back with slightly warmer gear. I might have to switch with taffy or something. Okay, let's not allow her to do that. That would be very, very, very bad. Senji has a little bit of frostbite, but nothing that Doc can't fix. I'll even use some medicine on it. Totally unnecessary, but it will heal faster. Alright, so I guess with this muffalo wool, I'm going to queue up a toque. Now the thing with the poison ship, unlike a psychic ship, it's not really urgent that I deal with it. I mean, I want to deal with it eventually, but the urgency is not there because it is not driving my people insane, unlike psychic ships. And all it can really do is threaten my crops, but it is pretty far away and not really close enough to threaten my crops in any significant way. So, as a result, I'm not super worried about it. Alright, so let's put on this good toque here. And now the temperature range, her temperature range has increased a considerable amount. Enough that I need to go to sleep, but then... Alright, let's say, Taffy, just rest until you're healed, because there's another fight here for me to do. And I want you as healed up as possible. Sleeping on this hospital bed, this superior hospital bed, will help, I think, a little bit at least. Yeah, that's right. Doc switched weapons with her, so Doc no longer has a weapon. I'm going to remedy that real quick, just in case of a raid. I don't want to be scrambling for a weapon frantically. So now we're back. Taffy hasn't fully healed yet, but all right. Let's now that I have the whole ship sort of set up, I'll set up a reactor, the core, a structural beam, and an engine. And this is the ugliest little piece of, you know, that you'll ever see. It's just to get me off this rock. Really, that's all it is. And I want to create this first so that when I have the components to do it, I'm going to forbid the other ones because I want a component bench first, component assembly bench. But I can build that, and I'll have enough left over for the bench. But actually, I might even forbid that and not worry about it just yet. And I'm going to recruit Taffy and Engie again to go back to war with them Scythers. Yeah, I really want to make sure I have enough components to construct the whole thing, so. So now Engie's hit in the torso, but Taffy lets one loose and destroys that Scyther. I'm going to keep Engie out here. It's a bit of a risk, but I just want to get done with these things. Just finish it. Finish him. In a second, he should be snapping backwards towards me, angrily, trying to... Oh, there we go. I'm going to stand my ground for once. Just trying to finish him off. And it worked. Risky, but it worked. I'm going to move Taffy down to Engie so they're easier to control in concert with one another. And slowly reel them backwards. Away from the harm of this centipede. Down they go. Taffy I'll keep here. To finish off the ship, while Engie goes seeks medical help. She's bleeding, but not too bad. Her gear took the brunt of it. She should have been wearing a armored vest, but I, in all of my haste, forgot to put one on. And she apparently wanted to build first, and not seek medical attention. Taffy is almost done. Well, apparently forbidding it won't work. Doesn't really matter. The immediate threat is over. Taffy hauling some steel with her. Back to base. My batteries are now back up to full, so I can turn my grow up again. No need to keep that off any longer. And she wants to heal the rest of the way. Taffy's already back up to fighting form, which was pretty quick. There are, however, jobs to be done out here. So both scyther blades can be taken off. And the centipede turned off. Hopefully with reasonable success. That's my wish. Quite a lot of blood out this way. So for the first blade, the left blade failed in a minor way. That's fine. Still get the right blade. The left blade has been cracked. But I did get the right blade. So now I'll issue that shutdown order. And for you too. And I'll haul the blade back. And eventually I'll haul the scythers, or the mechanoids back as well. The mechanoids, I can create a dumping stockpile here for them. So that maybe, just maybe, Taffy will decide to do that on her own without me prompting her. Which seems like it is happening. Yes, perfect. So I've got 4 blades to sell. The game keeps sending me mechanoids. I keep slaying them. Yeah, I'm a real boss. So I'm about halfway done with the component bench. And once I have the component bench built, I'll dump everything else I can into this ship here. But I'm gonna have NG build this thing. So I want to queue up the cryopods. Alright, so we have a structural beam. Now, for the cryosleep pods, they'll go accordingly, but I'm going to forbid them for now. Yeah, I think I just have about enough steel, given all the slag I have, to actually get this done. Now that I look at it. It is a considerable amount of steel that has to go into a ship. I have a hell of a lot of value in the base. Here, let me try to haul these. I'm going to haul them like an inch and drop them. There's a reason for this. I'm a little worried about pirates coming and scooping up my thrumbo horn and making off with them, so I am going to move it to a slightly more secure location and then put it back when I need it. So Taffy, could you haul that? And same with my AI core. I'm going to do the same with that. So losing that would be really, really sad. So I'll put that inside as well. Just trying to mitigate horrible things that could potentially happen. Alright, so we're almost done with the, oh, caravan has run out of food. Well, you are well on the ice sheet here. You've made it pretty far, I must say. And I don't think you're going to starve to death in the next day. So there's a very real possibility she makes it. Which is impressive, actually, given that I kind of just shoved her out the door. Now, I did set her up with stuff. I mean, I set her up with a lot of food and a considerable amount of warm clothing, so she wasn't abandoned by any means, but I'm impressed regardless. Pretty impressed. So if she has any more, maybe she's even over in her. She might even be over her smoke leaf addiction. Nope, she's not. Oh, some synth thread. Synth thread is nice. That is on the other side of the map from Taffy, so I'll let Taffy haul that. while I break down some more mechanoids. Spoils of my victory. Almost got the component bench going. Getting pretty close. I don't know why the storyteller keeps sending me mechanoids, but to be honest, I don't really mind. Because it helps me keep going, really. I mean, it's as simple as that. So I'll make a component bench here. Yes, I know there's a penalty for it being outside. She is getting close, but her food need is pretty low, so she might not actually make it after all. Sadly. I thought she could, but it's possible she won't. So now I'm working on geothermal power, so if I find myself on an ice sheet for whatever reason, trading or whatever, I'll be able to make use of geothermal power if I need. But I also want to get power armor and charge shot going, so any additional resources that I have left over after building turrets and additional defenses, I can put towards some good armor, survival armor for myself. So that's the last of the mechanoids. Getting a component bench. And I guess heading to sleep. So now all that's left is hauling additional slag here, which will be useful. So let's queue up making components. Do until you have, what is the most component? Do until you have 25, it looks like. Oh, Bee's going berserk. I don't think she's going to make it. So close yet so far. Almost. I was almost proud of her. Alright, NG getting back to work. I think I need to get back to cooking, actually. So let's cook up some more meals. I've gone through those 40 I had before. Having Taffy around, yeah, I mean, it's some extra meals I have to, Oh, food binge, yeah, good luck. I don't think you're finding any food. Yeah, it's an extra mouth to feed, but certainly a lot of hauling that she's been doing for us here. So that has been helpful. Doc's almost out of research to do, which is pretty phenomenal. I mean, it's not great that she actually likes to do research to keep happy. So I'm actually going to reserve some of that research for when she's in a bad mood. Alright, so now I have a component bench that's working. Yeah, it's really pointless to remove that snow. Let's actually allow you not to. You can clean up blood though. That's always useful. Making the place look a little pretty. So this zone here actually has gotten, well, right now it's not that pretty because of the rice, but it's been getting prettier, especially due to the fact that I've removed all of the slag from the zone. So now it's beautiful. It's 5.6. It's actually pretty nice. Ugly ship. Ugly asymmetrical ship. Alright, so I finished off that. Another mental break. Yeah, you're really gonna break down 2 hours away from them? Jesus. I know I didn't really send you with any money to trade, but you're 2 hours away. You've been traveling for 2 weeks. You'd think you'd keep it together, don't you think? Maybe now that it's like your torment is over, you don't know what to do with yourself, and you're like, oh, what is there left for me to do? And she's down. Down for the count. 2 hours away. Well, didn't intend for her to survive, but then I was sort of rooting for her to survive. But like the ancient explorers that charted the alright, let's actually build the engine first. Ancient explorers that charted Antarctica, she did her best, but it was not good enough. Because as soon as I get uranium, I will want to get that ship reactor up and running. That ship reactor will be able to supply me with a considerable amount of power. Consistent power. I mean, it's actually a pretty nice thing to build out on the ice sheet, which is weird that here on the ice sheet something so unbelievably expensive would be necessary. I should have amassed more uranium sooner. I didn't realize that I'd have this chance to possibly make it out. Never thought that was possible, but we're getting closer to the end goal. So Taffy's hauling this synth thread over, which is good. There's enough of it for some clothing, maybe some pants or something like that. Angie's working herself a little ragged. I'm actually going to flick this off. The batteries are a little low from the short circuit that happened and some component malfunctions. Plus, we're heading into the winter, so solar is not really nearly as useful. Oh, actually, that's right. That's actually a huge draw of power as well. That will help. Alright, there we go. Actually, NG, I want you crafting a little. Making some components. Should get your crafting skill up. So after I make a lot of components, the ability for her to make better gear. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Goes exponentially higher, which is pretty sweet. Doc's having a minor break risk here, so I might put her back on research for power armor or charge shot. Yeah, I'll go do that. There's no reason to risk her and make her angry. Might as well keep her as happy as I can. Nope, she's keeping herself happy apparently with some smoke weed or smoke leaf. Nope, not helping you. Sorry, buddy. Now this will certainly level up her crafting a lot, but she is very tired, urgently hungry, so she was crafting until she would drop. Let's not do that. She's actually hot. It's funny. It's negative 200 out. She's hot. Who would have guessed? Not me. Not in a million. My power levels are slowly recovering. I also wanted to demonstrate real quick. Some people have asked me why the double walls. So the outside temperature is 213, negative 213. This inner wall is negative 93. So the amount of heat that escapes from my base has to fight against 93, not 213. And in fact, it would not hurt to install another heater in here, which I will have NG do when she's up, just to raise this inside temperature, because as you can see here, it is struggling to stay within growing temperatures. I don't have my grow light on, but it is struggling to stay within growing temperatures, and think of it as a vacuum seal. If you've ever had a thermos, you know, your thermos isn't one solid object. There's air in between, so that heat, you know, doesn't escape directly from your liquid to the outer ambient temperature. And that's why you have like that sort of double layer. You can look it up yourself. Now, regardless, it is freaking cold out there. It's negative 223 now, which means even though I have this sort of... Oh, and a blight. I'm going to turn off the hydroponic tables for now, because they weren't growing anyway. Save the extra power. I've never really been able to grow very much in the winter in this base anyway. But a big reason for it is, you know, I generate less power, and it is so cold. So my slag barrier is now done. NG is... Maybe I will put all the steel I can in here and use leftover steel for components. So it seems like there's ample steel. I mean, there's always cargo drops and stuff like that. I'm just going to disallow for now the extra components here, so she doesn't load them in, because things do break down in the base, and I don't want to be in a position where I no longer have any components left and steel left to be able to make necessary repairs. That'd be setting me up for a pretty volatile situation. Now, anyone closely watching, you can see I just disallow those two right ship caskets. Yes, I realize I have done that. If, God forbid, I can only build one, might as well get NG off this rock. I intend to build more than one. I intend to build all three, but we will see. So Taffy's still hauling more slag, and there's certainly... She could do this for probably another year, and there would still be more slag out there, given that slag tends to generate faster on the map than I can even haul it. So, giving a rough estimate here, I need 50, 600. Ooh, a raid of actual pirates. Meleeers. Checking their gear. None of them. Not a single one of them will make it to me. They will every single one of them die in transit. Of hypothermia. So I don't even need to worry about this. One's already down. Oh, another one down. And now they're fleeing. Good raid, guys. Solid raid. Oh, will you make it off the map? You will. No, you won't. Oh, they didn't even make it off the map. Solid, solid, solid raid. Good planning. Well, I can sell that stuff, clearly. Taffy is already queued up to bury some of them. But I don't even have enough graves for them all. Seeing that they just fell, I figured I would give them proper burials, only because they have gear that hasn't been decaying. Taffy has a lot of work on her hands. Now, some of them, I think pretty much all of them also had personal shields. And personal shields, they don't get owned by dead people when the person dies, you can still use it, so it doesn't appreciate in value, and all their gear is relatively undecayed, whatever the opposite, intact, pristine, not pristine, but 99% or so is still pretty good. It still will sell pretty well. Alright, let's speed this up and actually punch some more holes in this wall rather than running all the way around. Seems like a simple thing to do, so might as well do it, right? So now I have all the steel that I need. So if I created these last two caskets, I would have 73 steel left. But given all the slag that I have, it seems like I have just enough steel for this construction project. Or actually, I would have 23 steel left. So I'm actually going to load it all up in hopes that, and it looks like this is working. It is somewhat dropping my net worth just a little bit. Not by a significant amount, but by enough that maybe I get one less scyther or, whatever. Which is important. Now the other case is looking at plasteel. I'm actually good on plasteel, I think. I believe I only need 150 more of it, which I already have. Which means my remaining plasteel can go to defenses, which is great. Something I will make good use of for sure. So once I crank out all the components and smelt the slag for this, NG's crafting skills should be really rocket high, which is great. I haven't been studying the whole time if there are bodies here that I buried without having stripped them. But I'm not going to dig up all the bodies to try to figure out if I've missed one. That's just not something I'm about to do, so... Alright, so, let me double check. So I only need components in uranium, gold components in the AI core too. So I have 144 plasteel left over, which gives me almost 2 plasteel turrets. Almost. That's not bad, right? That's still pretty good. And I'm sure I'm going to meet some more mechanoids before too long for some additional plasteel, which is pretty good. Looking at my wealth, as you can see, it's dropped off a little bit. Just a little bit since I started constructing. I think because it stops counting some of the steel. You know, my wealth of buildings will go up, but not as much as my wealth of natural resources. So here's my wealth of buildings, but it's not substantial enough to offset, you know, it doesn't offset the wealth of items, because I'm losing items while I'm gaining buildings. Alright, so I've loaded up all the steel. I still have some steel left over. And I have a heck of a lot of slag left over. So now all that's left is for NG to craft for months to craft components. It's a sad thought, but that is the reality. Now Taffy could be... Ooh, Pirate Merchant. Could be helping to craft here a little bit. Let's see what this Pirate Merchant has for us. So you have components, which I might buy. It's a maybe. A definite maybe. I will sell you dead people gear, of course. I'll sell you the parkas that don't really keep me warm. The personal shields. I'm going to buy a power helmet. Yep. Why not? I'll buy the components. Which really whittles down my steel, it whittles down my wealth a little bit, I think. Because Alright, can I wear this without freezing? No, I can't. Well, it's good to know I have it. Let's put a little stockpile here. Actually, you know what? I don't want to risk it being next to a battery. For the same reason I don't want to put it there. I'll put it here. It will keep your base your room a little ugly, but I don't really care. I don't want to lose that helmet if I can help it. So, apparel, headgear, power armor helmet. Let's haul that now. Did I do that right? Power armor helmet, yes. Alright, if you won't haul it, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. It's weird to see her with... Oh, you little... You just stole my hat. It's not gonna work. It's weird to see her with hair. I haven't seen hair on her in a long time. No empty place to store it? What is this? Power armor helmet, right? Is this a dead person's? Nah, I don't know. Whatever. I'll just leave it there. And forbid it for now. So I think I'm going to disallow steel in this zone here because I want the steel over here, and for here, as preferred, I'm going to disallow everything but the steel, the plasteel, and components, which are under manufactured. That's where they are. That way, all of this stuff that I can sell to people gets moved over. And I actually, are you still in range? Yeah, they're still in range, so I'm gonna get that stuff moved now for the possibility of being able to sell a little bit more. Alright, so now NG can go try to sell to this pirate before he leaves, and sell off the rest of this gear that I don't need. And buy a camel hair tooth, that's good. Wanderer joined. You are not gonna make it, is what you are. She's already, yep, there, down she goes. Nope. Couldn't even get you back to the base. Yeah, one of you viewers said, oh, you're really cold to everyone that visits you, but honestly, most people can't even make it to my base before they die. So, caring about their deaths, I can't let it bother me. I mean, they don't even make it back. They die in transit. So let's look at this wealth. Alright, my wealth has been plummeting, which is actually something I really like. It's weird to be happy about that, I know. Some agave fruit. Cool. Way off in the corner of the map. Because the lower my wealth is, as long as I haven't actually physically lost anything that I care about, the safer I am. Because the more I'm worth, the more dangerous everyone is, potentially. Alright, not bury them. Let's haul some of this stuff. I'm actually going to open up some of these graves because I've been hauling corpses to this zone here, and I haven't been very good about stripping them first. And the people that are buried there, a lot of them have some really, really good stuff. What I will do first is bury her before people have this need of having a... Yep, friend, you never met them. Come on. Yeah, she was everyone's friend, wasn't she? Of course she was. Of course she was. Everyone loved the person you never met. That makes sense. Where are you going with her? Oh, right. She gets buried in a different place because she's one of us. I forgot about that. But Taffy, you remembered. So good on you. Alright, I'm gonna have NG open up some of these graves. Because, as you can see, a lot of them have personal shields. Which are worth quite a lot of money. And yes, it's a little strange to want my colony to be worth less and then obtain a bunch of expensive personal shields, but just because I want my colony worth less doesn't mean I'm going to throw things away. I'm going to trade for things I need. That is how it works here. So putting clothing on really pisses Doc off. I gotta be careful about that. And I think that's the last body down there. There's some medicine, but that is the last physical body. I'm gonna haul the personal shields first, because they're the most valuable. And got some thrombos, and these I won't have to fight. Not at all. They're gonna die definitely 100% of hypothermia. It's way too cold for them now. The game's throwing me a lot of slow, underhanded pitches, making me think it's gonna bite me in the ass soon. It's gonna come back with a vengeance. But time will tell. Thrombos are down, one's already dead. The other one has moments to live. It's interesting why one thrombo died so much earlier than the other. Same gender, roughly the same wounds, but one perished much, much earlier than the other one did. Which is a bit of a head scratcher. So I think what I'm going to do is just put an orbital trade beacon in here, and then put my silver in here as well. That way it's a bit more protected. I'll put the gold and uranium, not that I have any, but in the future, in there as well. So I need to do some cooking, which Doc just reminded me of, because she wants to go travel somewhere to eat a meal. I'm not sure where she exactly wants to go. I have to look closely. Oh, from where she died. Yeah, alright. Let's have you haul that, though. Nah, have you consume one and then haul it. Oh, you're going to consume both. Alright, NG. Let's have you haul some of this agave. And Doc, I'm going to put you back on research, because you are having a hard time here. You aren't a very good pawn, to be perfectly fair and honest. You are a nudist slowpoke, but I've made it work, because I like you. Alright, so it's warming up enough in this zone to manage to grow again, so I'm going to turn all that jazz back on. And cue in Taffy to haul some more of this agave, because if I am going to use my chem launcher, or a transport pod with chem fuel, I'm going to need some additional organics to be able to fuel that refinery. So the more food I can stockpile, the better. Which is why I'm trying to grow more, even though I have 625 rice and soon to be like 200 something agave and a bunch more thrombo meat in a minute here. I want a big, nice, hefty stockpile in order to buffer if I need that, you know. So another thing I can do is queue up a good old-fashioned. All right, let's get you cooking. Queue up a good old-fashioned. Oh, there's only 16. Well, nothing better to do. Security turret here, because I have the resources. Really, it's the only reason. And then, of course, the power is entirely, massively dwindling right now. So thank you, RNG, for giving me no wind and no solar. And heater breakdowns. Well, I have no components, because I just decided to load them into the building. Let NG rest now. She's been contributing quite a lot. But it's getting really cold in this zone because of that broken heater, so... something I'll have to make a component pretty quick to replace that. So how much uranium I need? 100, 250, 265 uranium, and 100 gold. Something like that. Even if I got a vendor to come, they're likely not going to have that much uranium. Which means I really have to think about trying to trade with distant people. Which is a troubling thought, but a thought that I must have. Because I want to survive here. I really do. So a pod launcher and a refinery are expensive, but doable. Doc is starving. Let's fix that. Just gonna get this done. Got 2 thrumbo to butcher too. All those smoke leaves that I hauled in have really paid off, haven't they? Yes, they have. They most certainly have. A lot of personal shields. My wealth shot really high back up due to those personal shields, I think. Yep. Yep, that is the threat of having really nice loot off of pirates is, Alright, let's haul that medicine. You never know when we'll need that. Pirates have stuff that's better than plasteel and steel and components and worth and value. So with this first component, I'm going to repair this heater. Then with the next one, I'm going to build this trade beacon. So my crafting's 12, getting a little higher. Doc is happy, so I'm going to actually put her back on like hauling and the like. Cleaning and hauling. Many hands make short work of hard tasks, you know? And actually, let's say complete this zone until about there. I'm not going to have a lot of resources, so I might as well have them close to where I'll need them. And I will prioritize some slag here. It is not, it's closer to where I want it and not where I care where it will be ugly. But what is the priority here? It's critical. So let's call this important and this critical. So it'll first be moved up here. Granted, that actually slows me down here, so let me fix that. Alright, so we have enough steel. Oh, solar flare. Bye-bye plants. During the solar flare is when I always think that my exotic goods merchant has come and gone out of orbit, never having made aware that they ever existed in the first place. That's how I always feel about that. I'm like, no, the opportunities that I've passed up. Sure, it's irrational, but it's what I always think every time. Alright. Need to work on my power consumption here. I am consuming quite a lot of power and not making any. Heading out of winter will be nice, but it does occur to me just now that I am pretty much out of time here, so I'm going to thank you all for watching my progress on this ship, and as I pray that I eventually get out of here permanently. And I hope you've enjoyed this series, and this episode specifically, and I'm looking forward to having you guys tune in next time to see what I can accomplish in next episode. So I hope you like and subscribe and leave me a comment or some requests or whatever else you have, questions, etc. Thanks for watching, guys. Adios.